just being a menace, basically. I think like Agshard plus Solar Crest with no boots for the entire game is the way that he played it, just
Radiant
constant
team
rat
pick.
Dota. They're gonna go the Elder Titan in response to this. The thing that I really want to see from Polaris, yes, they've got a lot of catch, but that does go away eventually if Nature's Prophet is able to get that BKB. So they need something that's able to go through BKB. Whatever it is, don't care, just needs to be something.
It
10
does give
seconds
them
remaining.
a lot of strong lanes, though. You can
5 seconds remaining.
protect a potential ranged hero, which I believe they're going to go for with a position 1. It's a bit risky, though, into the Mars, of course, because any ranged with the Arena and Bulwark makes
saw
it
it happen.
Yeah, exactly. We saw what the how MG.Trust could play on this hero. It's by far one of his best heroes. That was a win we haven't seen in quite some time on the hero as well. I know we've been highlighting the low win percent that he's had so far.
It felt for me like,
wow,
that's movement. You know, like I said, this could be a mid Spirit Breaker, honestly. Like, I know they've got the Conquer there, but we've seen Nico play it in the side lanes. It could be a Nico Spirit Breaker as well, actually. I think that's actually a lot more likely. But, you know, they just need something that's able to connect and consistently punish this this Nature's Prophet. I like the Undying as well, predicting that it is a Spirit Breaker in the off lane, so reducing a lot of his damage and HP, of course. Looking to bully him out of his lane, which I was assuming that SB and Polaris were thinking that it's going to be a 1 lane for that off lane with the Spirit Breaker picked up there.
Radiant team
and I do like they're just getting rid of any hero that has speed, basically, right? Like something that's able to connect together with the Nature's Prophet. So they've picked up the Spirit Breaker, which is obviously good at connecting to a Nature's Prophet, but also can punish a Nature's Prophet. So it's like twice the benefit. And then high movement speed heroes, Bat Rider, DP, Leshrac gone, 2 Spirit heroes gone. Void Spirit doesn't have the same level of movement. Lina also gone. What is even left? I know Void Spirit's left, but maybe they just need to go for a different strategy altogether.
10 seconds.
It's really not the worst game for a Void Spirit either. Like, it's not like they have crazy control.
5 seconds remaining.
I want some extra way to make plays on Motivate. I don't think you can rely on Mars to start fights. I think you have to be pretty cautious as well with how Polaris can find pickoffs across the map.
I don't think we've seen him play it. If this was Boom, I would be like, Yopaj is going to play Earth Spirit mid this game. I haven't seen too much Fearless Earth Spirit, so see what they opt to do. But I feel like that's a pretty solid pick this game.
Are you in agreement that Polaris are looking for their position 1 at the moment and just not going to flex the monkey?
Dire team pick.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. PL gives them a lot of ways to... they needed something that was able to get out of the arena on its own, because you don't have the luxury of like a Tusk this time, right? Where you're able to, you know, snowball someone out. So someone a little bit more self-sustainable, someone that if they get onto the Undying, all you really need to do against the Undying is just drain his mana. You don't actually need to kill him. You can just leave him there being worthless, basically, because killing him actually gives the potential of a buyback, rejoining the team fight with a second round of spells.
We've got 5 melee heroes on Polaris. It's huge late game win condition. They banned out one of the biggest counters to PL as well in the Leshrac, so I'm trying to look for some magic damage AoE clearing too for Fearless.
And something that's not super squishy that it gets gone on and just dies.
I feel like, how do you get that though? Like, when I can't pick a Leshrac against PL, you go down the list of like a Zeus, a Tinker, but you're against Monkey, Spirit Breaker, so they're off the cards.
It's not a Fearless hero, but Dragon Knight. I think Dragon Knight's okay here. You don't care if you get mana burned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you don't care if you get charged. You can push.
Initiation, which I think they need to combine with Mars. I don't just want one hero to initiate. Makes it too difficult, especially with Mars having a big ultimate. He can follow up. DK can... they just go park. Okay, so this was a while ago a semi-answer to PL when you were going the damage and phase shift talent with like a Witchblade. So you can scale decently to deal with the Phantom Lancer, but it looks like they've more banked off the fact that this is just more split push mobility, pretty hard to catch as well. I don't mind Monkey King versus Puck just because of how mobile you can be, and with the long range stun, which is one of the better ways to follow up and get that initial stun into the extras afterwards. But it's a pretty good Puck game.
It's a pretty good Puck game. I think not super early. I think you need to get to level 15 just so that you are able to deal with all those PL illusions with a phase shift attack, if that's how Fearless opts to go for this. But yeah, like it needs a lot of conditions to be hit by Polaris to be able to gank Fearless, right? Like it needs to be a boundless strike with a torrent already kind of ticking and waiting there into chain lockdown from a Spirit Breaker and maybe even an Elder Titan as well. Like a lot needs to go right if you're going to try and kill this Puck.
From
Laning stage is alright though. Like you can very, I mean, Tidebringer is going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Kind of like similar to how the Tiny matchup used to be favorable towards the Tiny, and we were like, oh, this is really good because you do all this damage. No, it turns out Tiny was just busted and got abused to hell at TI.
Yeah, because I thought that the Tidebringer was the big issue for the Puck, because I mean, it's a little bit different now with water runes and bounties, that you have a really good way just to be able to sustain through the lane with all this extra regen, potentially even supports to enable the bottles to be refilled. But I thought the Tidebringer was too difficult for you to deal with the low starting armor that Puck is.
Prepare for battle.
And Mac actually, you talk about the bottles and all that, but most Kunkers these days actually go a different build where they don't even go bottle. They just go like 3 braces, just so that they're super tanky, they're able to stay in lane, and they're able to pressure out the enemy team. This time around, though, it looks like he's just standard mid-build. Bottle, phase, magic stick.
Do you feel like the PL can be the real late-game menace that they're requiring here from Natsumi?
I'm still a little concerned about how they're going to control Puck late game, if it does get to that stage, right? Like, and how greedy can you get on jabs again? I thought that was a very late BKB that he got there.
30
Wasn't
seconds
punished
to battle.
effectively enough, but it was quite late. And so if they're able to actually punish the fact that they're going for a greedier style of build here on Motivate, then Polaris still have a good chance in my eyes.
Oh, last Pro Series, I was incredibly impressed with how Boomy was playing the Monkey King as a position 4. So, I know this hero did get nerfed a little bit through 7.3E, so we'll see if that's gonna take into much effect or not. But it will just be a 3-for-1 favor of Motivate in regards to the bounties. Is there a lane we should be paying a lot more of attention to in regards to kills? Is there one that you feel like will occur more often?
I mean, I think Weaver is just a disgusting hero right now, especially since they reduced the mana cost of the Shikuchi. Why did we need that? We didn't. Do you want him to constantly be spamming you out in lane? Do you want to have this no existence in your lane if you're a support? Probably not, but well, Q's gonna make it that way.
Do you feel that they swapped the lanes to have the Undying go up against the ET? Do you think that's the reason of why we're seeing Set0 down bottom?
Potentially. I mean, again, ET into the Mars, very, very strong, so anything that you can do to minimize that is, of course, great. I think that seems like the overall plan, right? Like the Spirit Breaker, you don't really have any super early kill threats, so you don't mind laning the Nature's Prophet into it. So I think it's fine.
Well, we saw what MG.Trust could do with enough items here with the Mars. We'll see if he can follow up and do the same thing in the second game. And Mars is definitely a hero that can scale relatively well versus the Phantom Lane. So you do need items, but something like a Deso or Shivas, even going down the Aghanims route, you do have some ways to itemize into some AoE clear.
Yeah, I mean, once it gets later on, all you really need to do is stick up your bulwark, right? And I was not expecting that not this early on.
That was pre-second point in Tidebringer as well. I'm keeping tabs on that.
Did he just hit level 3 from the kill?
Yeah, so that was a lot of damage that came through from Mac. I guess wasn't expecting it. I mean, he came up the lane with 3 branches, I think, but the extra stats from Fearless is not enough. And yeah, you've seen that extra... so the loss of armor is a big issue here.
Oh, It's the bottle eventually coming out for Fearless. A little surprised, honestly, that Mac didn't look to prioritize picking up that water rune, so Fearless is going to be able to secure it all for himself. I think he can just grab the naked water rune, if I'm being honest. Maybe that death making him a little bit more self-conscious about it, wanting that extra burst of HP.
See that all lanes are playing on the edge at the moment. Q's trying to solo kill Boomy at the moment. And while mid, Mac and Fearless still battling it out. So it's just the battle of nutrition at the moment. Setzer and CML. Another 1v1. CML has got the level advantage. But man fighting Undying is a bit too difficult. And you know, Cube will actually finally be able to clean off Boomy's Monkey King.
Yeah, he jumped into the trees and was trying to jump away, as all stupid Monkey Kings do. But now the Weaver, he was just skittering around inside the fog and ends up getting a kill. He jumped into his own death. These are my two most hated position 4s right now. The Monkey King and the Weaver.
Yeah, they, well, seeing them play together in a lane, does that give you a sense of a different feeling?
At least one of them has to lose.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
The positive side.
Oh, they cut down the tree. It is giving Jabs some time to dish the damage without being contested. Nico's going to try and push him back, but can they even cut through the trees? The big issue is Beetle's starting to stack up the minus armor.
Oh, he's going to get away as well. Such a dumb hero.
And Boomy's actually going to look to jump. Sakuchi up in a couple of seconds. Jabs slow to get the fight. And Nico, with that perfect timing of the charge, brings down the Weaver. Now he's going to look to turn. He needs to get pretty lucky with the bashes. Won't find it at all. So Jabs can run himself away after picking up the kill. And meanwhile, Mac and Fearless still battling out, with Fearless surviving on under 50 health.
It was one of those ones where they might have even been able to live there on Q. He had the Fairy Fire available, but just didn't pop it quick enough. So good use of the charge, perhaps a little earlier than Nico might have liked, just to make sure that he wasn't able to get that extra little burst of HP. Because if he lives and he's able to be part of that kill that Jabs was eventually able to get, he made sure he walked back to get the urn available. So you would have had a couple of urn charges, and that just buffs up your kill potential a lot, particularly against a Monkey King, right? Like, Monkey King can't jump into the trees as long as he's being damaged. So if you get the urn onto him, he can't just constantly jump around and be annoying like he is right now.
Monkeys. What can you really hope to expect this hero do after like 7 minutes of this game? What's kind of Boomy's job?
I mean, it's a little different from the position 5. Like, we saw position 5 on Hyde's Monkey King a little earlier, where he was just basically a roaming observer ward. His is more about setting up for kills. So he's going to roam around a lot more. He can be this wave cutter, basically, that just gives them a lot more space on the map, particularly for the PL. So I think that's going to be his main role.
See, again, had not as much impact through the laning stage. The 2 deaths at the moment from Boomy, but they're going to look to jump Jabs. Hoping and praying for some RNG to work out for Nico at the moment. Is getting absolutely nothing, as Jabs can pick up the kill into the TP out unless the torrent's fast enough. Which unfortunately for Mac's case, it is not. So Jabs out to safety. A quick kill, claiming off Nico, and now he's got a reef fresh in the resources.
Fearless even able to grab the Invis rune. Doesn't use it for any kind of kill potential. He just wants as much mana as possible so that he's able to not only keep himself in the lane, but also prevent Conker from grabbing it. Forces him to stay up on this top side as well, which it's not the worst place for Mac to be right now, particularly against a Nature's Prophet, but that's the thing. Jabs can just rotate back to the jungle. He's got 3 points of the Nature's Call, so he can sit there in jungle. The Observer Ward will spot him out doing it as it's about to expire, but I don't think they have any amazing kill threat right now.
Do you like that Jabs is going straight for an ATOS in this game? Do you feel like this is just going to enable him to group up with the team?
Well, he did it the other way around last time. He did Maelstrom into the ATOS through the Gleipnir. So this time around, he, I suppose, just wants that little bit of extra lockdown, particularly for the Monkey King, I would say. Like, as soon as he shows himself, he's not going to give him the freedom to just jump back on into the tree.
Oh, Boomy, not again. Tombstone and the Nature's Call just to try and clean off the trees. And, I mean, I guess there's a reason why. Is one of the most hated position for supports. You see all the emphasis coming through from Motivate just to deal with him, but it does at least secure the tier 1 tower, which gives them a lot of map control now to play with on Dire.
Yeah, for sure. This time around as well, like, you talk about how Jabs is going into the ATOS. It's a lot less of a glass cannon build this time around. Like, he is building Gleipnir again. Totally fine, particularly against a PL, right? But it does allow you to have a lot more of that sustainability. You've got 8 all stats now with the double crowns picked up first. So not wanting to be this super greedy style where he goes the Staff of Wizardry first. It's all about hitting creeps. No, he realizes that he needs to put himself into harm's way a little bit more often. And so he's statting up accordingly.
Well, my eyes are then on where Jabs is going to look to TP next. I mean, level 7. We'll have that maxed out Nature's Call if he's looking for it. Still need this tier 1 tower down bottom, and a perfect hero to combine with is Mastros on the Mars. He's got the arena available. They do kind of have issues right now with cleaning off the Phantom Lancer, who's had a pretty solid lane. I mean, he's behind in net worth in regards to the counterpart position 1 on Motivate, but you would still really be happy with how much farm Natsum is getting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a big part of that is the tower falling as well, right? So Natsuki doesn't have the luxury of having a mid tower taken at this point of the game. As, well, they get a free kill onto Set Zero, not before he drops the Tombstone, but shouldn't be too much of a concern.
That was the boat dropped here to follow up after the Echo Sum, so first boat use of the game as well, considering the solid start that Mac had. Kind of surprising how long it took him to use that big ultimate, but still looking to transition. He's actually going straight into the Orchid. No armlet or anything like that. Feeling like they're lacking a little bit more in the lockdown department.
I don't hate it, as they're actually looking to make a kill happen here onto Massaros, with Mac rotating through with the remnants of his double damage.
Yeah, got the help of Boomo, so it's gonna be enough to pick that one up. Seems like Boomy is just kind of playing more forward in this bottom lane, just to really scout out if anyone's smoking down or if anyone's TPing too. You even see the Observer Ward by the Secret Shop almost fulfill a similar role.
Yeah, for sure, and they do end up scouting it out, so really nice presence of mind there by Set Zero to make sure that they're in position. They know that there weren't any reinforcements coming, so it's a really high standard of dewarding coming out there. Great map awareness. And, well, we spoke about ATOS. Boomy is actually going 1 as well. I don't hate it. It provides a lot of stats for the price that it has, and of course Set Zero is going to be getting gone on again.
Boomy getting a little bit of revenge too after the rougher laning stage that he took part in. The 132 kill count here for the Monkey King. And he's going to offer a lot of issues here for the Weaver along with the Puck as well. And this honestly might even force an earlier BKB here from Jabs. You were highlighting that you were kind of surprised at how he could get away with such a late BKB timing in game 1. That might not be the case this game with kind of the lockdown that Radiant have.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm actually going to have a quick look back at it. I mean, he got it at like 27 minutes, which I thought was quite late, especially considering how much pressure Polaris were putting on the map in game number 1. This time around, it's going to be a little different. You know, PL nowhere near as strong at taking towers when compared to
Max
Luna.
in trouble. 3-man smoke. They're going to look to try and find the sphere to break the coil. They're able to do so and also get the stun connection. Beautiful smoke maneuver from Motivate, being able to pick up a key component of Polaris' draft. Now, they can't transition this into an objective, but they're more than happy with what they've gotten out of the map. Maybe even looking for another kill top as Mastros were running to Nico. Not really the target they're hoping for, especially with how tanky he is on the Spirit Breaker. With only 1 point in the Bulldoze, status resistance starting to lack, and yeah, there's going to be no escape as Jabs will get involved as well. And now with that kill, they should be able to transition that into an objective.
It's a little bit of a reversal of game styles this time around. Motivate much more aggressive early on. They realized that, hey, we've got a ton of potential to be able to take out a lot of these towers. You know, not just the Nature's Prophet, but the Weaver as well. He can cut lanes, he can force lanes to push a little bit further in than Polaris might be prepared to deal with, and the end result of that is that, you know, you often can find yourselves with a numbers advantage when these team fights do break out. Charge coming in. Boomy's got 4 points in the Boundless Strike, so it's a good setup for someone like Jabs.
They've got Diffuser Blade on PL as well if he gets involved. This could be something to surprise Motivate. Natsumi's starting to make the connection top. They'll start on Jabs, who's very far out of position, but he's got the backup. Coil dropped, but the Earthsplitter combined. So much damage for Motivate to deal with. And the Phantom Lancer swinging on the outskirts as well, so Natsumi looking for the cleanup. He hasn't found a target just yet, but the rest of Motivate looking to transition to the northern side. But unfortunately for MG.Trust, there's no escape. There's a perfect placement from CML. Sleep will lock off the retreat, and Natsumi will in fact get involved. Still the fight breaking out to the southern side is Q and Boomy. They're standing hand in hand. Boomy actually might continue to stalk the Weaver, but a successful defense nonetheless from Radiant.
Behold!
I want to have a look at this. Yeah, just as expected, the Weaver did the most damage in that team fight, which, I mean, for Motivate's side, it's just crazy. Like 5 different Shikuchis, 3 uses of the Spirit Vessel, dealing how much damage? 5 times, basically like 1,000 damage AoE that this Weaver was able to accomplish.
Q is so annoying.
I thought he might have gone for the cheeky hit onto the tower. He does have 1 point in the Geminate attack, but I'm just content to keep this wave as pushed out as possible. I do like how much emphasis Q is giving to Monkey King in particular, though. Like I said before, you get that Spirit Vessel onto him, he cannot jump up into the trees.
Seeds of fortune.
It's very aggressive Tombstone as well. I'm not sure if that was just to secure a ward in the area. I wasn't sure if there was one placed or not, but...
Nope.
See...
I think it's just, please don't run at me, Tombstone.
Oh, they've really got the run at you lineup with 5 mil on Radiant. I mean, for the Phantom Lancer, he's very happy with maybe showing up to the later stages of fights. Literally, that last fight is a perfect engagement for PL. Just coming in, getting a clean up kill on one hero is Fearless. Catch out CML is had a pretty quiet game, honestly, from the Puck. 1-1 and 3. You know, that early death in the lane, but is, you know, silently catching up in regards to net worth from the Conquer.
Yeah, I think this isn't really the timing for the Puck, right? I feel like Puck's timing...
By the bottom triangle here, MG.Trust is going to reveal the blink. They still get the combination out, but Jabs at least, once again with the assistance, he's going to be able to eat the gank and turn it back around. No one's fallen just yet. Looks like Boomy can't get that full front TP. He'll just have to succumb himself to the death.
It's not too bad. They do only lose the support, though, for all of that. With 4 heroes rotating all the way back, you've got CML farming, you've got PL farming, you've got Mac. Wasn't doing all that much. He was just, after the TP, just went back onto the jungle. So, I mean, it's not horrible for Polaris, particularly when you know that the Arena of Blood was used for that purpose as well.
MG.Trust has found another target. Great use of this Observe Ward. Motivate. Some aggressive placements from them so far. They're going to look to try and jump Mac, or maybe at least kite him on the outskirts, as Nico doesn't have the assistance just yet. The bugs have latched on. Natsumi even looking to get involved. Maybe he can start to stack up the illusion and burn the mana. But already with the numbers disadvantage, Polaris have to reset.
Lucky Courier Snipe with the use of the God's Rebuke. This game feels a bit weird, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, it feels like Motivate have everything that they could possibly want to be able to just stand behind this Nature's Prophet and allow him to hit towers, but for whatever reason, they're just content to sit in the jungle, just farm slowly when you're against a PL. Like, for me, this PL will reach that critical mass where he's just way too much to deal with. Maybe it'll swing back the other way eventually in the super late game if Mars gets, like you mentioned, the Deso Aghanim Scepter. But for like the 30-minute mark, it does feel like Polaris is still in a decent position despite being 4K behind.
Middle tower is under attack.
What do you feel like then Motivate are waiting for if you're expecting them to maybe not let the PL get as much farm as what he is?
cooldowns, I guess, is the big thing for them. I mean, Fearless, he's hit up onto his level 12. They're going for a bit of a backstep here. If they can catch out the PL with his Dream Coil, that'd be huge.
Tatsumi down to the southern side. They're actually going to look to try and jump the Conquer along with the Monkey King. Just a 1-2 combo with the ultimates is plenty to bring them down. As meanwhile, to the southern side, Natsumi is in trouble. He needs help and he needs it now. CML, I don't think it's going to be enough. He kind of just to sacrifice his life, but still, they'll just target through the Phantom Lancer. They're not worried about kiting the illusions as along with Nico. He soon will fall. Unless he can get the charge away. Way to cancel that one with the Gods of Rebuke just shy, but I mean, Motivate, yes, you lose jabs, but still a successful fight nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. And they went for the 2 instead. Masteros with another great engagement, being able to catch them, set up for the 2-man Dream Coil, the Swarm, level 4, hitting onto all of them. Spirit Vessel again, doing a ton of damage. Weaver, honestly, wouldn't surprise me towards at this stage of the game if Weaver had the most damage done this game, because he has just been a menace in the laning stage, and both of these big team fights, he's been the one dishing out the most. So I feel like but the thing is, you can't really address it, right? Like, you commit so heavily onto a Weaver, and if you're not picture perfect, then he just time lapses and it's all useless. So I feel like the main thing that they need to be focusing on right now for Polaris, like, sure, it's great, you can kill set 0, but that's not actually going to result in too much for the rest of your team. I feel like prior to this BKB coming out, you got to kill Masteros. Like, he's the one that's enabling them to fight right now.
And it felt like he was doing that as well in game 1 with the early blink that he found. Now he's just going straight into the BKB. But
I mean, how many times did we see once he got the BKB, like, they committed heavily onto him, but he just didn't die because he just BKB, bulwark, TP away. That's all he did, and it failed about 4 or 5 different ganks onto him.
Yeah, it was just there were too many times where they didn't kill him in that slither of opportunity they had, and we saw what Masteros can do, and we're still seeing it at the moment this game. I mean, it has to be said that yes, this is a Phantom Lancer that's top of the net worth, but Dire are going to be really scary with the potential first Roshan timing where they can just start to ball up. Like, PL will still need items.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this is with a Gleipnir. Like, Gleipnir is a great item against the PL, just because you're constantly able to lock him down. You use the
who have they caught? They actually found Mac. Oh, that's a big kill simultaneously in the river. They'll also deal with the Elder Titan. Now, meanwhile, Natsumi's going to be cautious here. He's actually going to brute force forward. Will break the coil. Still the Gleipnir directly afterwards. Means there's no escape. So it's just forced to try and stick his ground to man fight. They'll focus down jabs. A successful kill on top of the Nature's Prophet. But now Boomy and Nico's in trouble. Spirit Breaker is able to charge himself out to safety, but the poor old Monkey King will have no escape as they deal with the pesky position 4.
You in the spring.
It's another time. Masteros just sets them up for success every single time. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but Weaver up there with all the damage being able to do. This dumb hero just needs to get banned out every single game in my eyes, because nowadays, now that you've also reduced the mana cost of everything, it's much more viable as a position 1 as well. It's something that Boom has been playing a lot with great success on CTM, so I feel like it's probably the hero of this patch right now. But Masteros, for mine, is the hero of this game so far.
Just doesn't seem...
A different build. He's going into the Heaven's Halberd, actually, on jabs.
Okay. What is Mac going... so what's Fearless going for? Fearless is going Lincolns. So I thought maybe the puck would transition maybe a little bit more into the damage, but they... What do you feel like the Halberd is for? Because it's not easy to lock onto a Phantom Lancer, and are you really itemizing Halberd for the Conquer?
I mean, the evasion is always nice against a PL, I suppose, and then, you know, eventually the Conquer is going to be that threat. He's almost got his BKB, well, 1200 gold away, but it could even be just the Spirit Breaker, like I was talking about before.
He's getting stalked. He's pretty tanky though, 2200 health. And now they get information that some heroes are down bottom, so they're just gonna smoke inside the Roche pit. Look how fast they're able to do this. Solar Crest, they've got the bugs. Roche is fallen, even though Radiant, they've got the Observe Ward at the mouth of the pit. They will not come over whatsoever.
the bulldoze makes it a little bit more difficult with the status resistance, but I feel like if you get the Heaven's Halberd off onto the Spirit Breaker, like that is the one thing that they have on their lineup right now. That is that BKB piercing lockdown, you know. So I feel like that's the main thing that they're concerned about.
They caught out once again. Just CML. But I mean, Phyllis has been on another level throughout the mid portion of this game with how he's been able to catch out some of the key heroes across the map. I mean, he's 5-1 and 9, and his farm's just continuing to skyrocket at the moment.
Dire's bottom tower
They might
is under
even
attack.
know where Boom is positioning. Jabs just a little bit too late to catch out the Monkey King. This definitely feels like it's an Aegis that Radiant are going to look to avoid.
Feels like it's been a long time since we've seen a smoke from either team as well. Maybe just wanting to wait for those key BKB timings. Kunkka's only 100 gold away. Spirit Breaker's still a while away. Phantom Lance, I think he's in two minds as to whether he wants to go the Ag Shard or just build straight into the the Satanic Heart. Third time lucky. It's weird, right? Because, again, in my eyes, Masaros needs to die. And he probably needed to die like 5 minutes ago. 3 times in a row. But now that you haven't, he's got his BKB. It's finished. So if you look to make any kind of smokes to kill him now, it's just not going to result in anything, which means that he can place himself super aggressively. It opens up space for, again, Jabs to farm, considering he's gone this bit more of a passive build. No BKB still. And, yeah, no BKB. He's just going into the AC. Why not? There's nothing really stopping him from doing that because the lanes are constantly pushed in because of the aggressive positioning coming out from heroes like Masaros.
Masaros? Oh wow, he actually did get him. The arena just cutting down some of the trees on the outskirts. Boom is just going to go straight for a TP out after the stuns, and Jabs just too late with the Gleipnir. That does give them some information of multiple heroes showing down, but it's not going to be too much of an issue though if Nico just charges under a tier 1 tower. Fearless even looking to get involved as well. We'll just hold back an extra support. Give more icing on the cake as one kill after another. Motivate starting to run a rampant in this second game.
This is always something that Motivate have done amazingly well, is that they play similar to like TI 8 OG, where they always just seem to get one more in every single team fight. Their cohesion is fantastic, and it doesn't even hurt too much that you've got someone like Jab standing in, because that's not really his role, right? It's the rest of the 4 that are always playing around together. They're used to playing with Jackie, who's just sitting back and farming, and well, the bonus is that Jabs, he's experienced enough that he knows when he needs to TP in and have an impact in these team fights.
Yeah, and that he's doing so far. He's got the 16 kill participation out of the 23 here. So Jabs' Furion definitely getting involved, and we're going to see that more and more, especially with the Halberd into the Assault Cuirass. So this is an item build that's going to just look to survive these fights. And, you know, sometimes you don't like these long drawn-out fights into the Phantom Lancer. That's a hero that really thrives on just slowly dwindling down the mana and the health. So they feel like they at least can itemize to really counteract that.
I wonder if he'll look to go a different level 20 talent as well this time around. I feel like the +8 armor is going to be fantastic for him, just because, you know, if you've got a PL constantly hitting it onto you, if you're able to just stand your ground with no mana, you don't really care.
Another time. The bait of the outpost, well, it's going to cost CML his life. He was speaking about the importance of Masaros. Have the damage to kill him off before the BKB, and Motivate not going to have the catch till later on unless Fearless wants to drop the coil, so got to be cautious. All of his defensive has been used early. Yours still in the toolkit. They're going to miss out in the arena. Polaris could be a decent spot for them to fight with how deep Motivate are looking to transition. Meanwhile, down on the back line is cute. Time lapse out to safety, further and further, dragging Polaris out. Jabs has still got the first life. See if they want to stick around for the second. Ultimates have been wasted. They've got the Wukons to control the vicinity. A core's going to be dropped, but Jabs is falling ever so low. A beautiful Echo Stomp onto multiple heroes will give them ample time to go through the Furion. Now they can turn their attention to Setsuro as well. With 2 down on Motivate, they're going to be pushed further and further back, so Polaris will make a stand.
I feel like that's the kind of play that you can make if Weaver has Ags, but he's agonizingly short on and on Q, just 100 gold away. So, you know, perhaps it was a little bit too cocky coming out from Jabs there, realizing, oh, I've got a second life, I'll be totally fine. But again, like, if you give them time to set up, Polaris have very, very capable defense.
A little bit of a... really just stemming the momentum. I feel like that is... Now Polaris can get out of the map. Start to D-ward, which CML instantly doing by his triangle. Want to try and see them get some form of control on a high ground as well, because we saw what could happen when you have a close proximity fight. You know, CML, a beautiful echo stomp onto 3. So if you take a fight, you know, potentially by your triangle where you have vision advantage, you know, could be a way to bring yourself back into this game.
For sure.
Once again, this bottom outpost is just the death of another hero. They keep going back for it, and it's really just the same result.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, if you... It's why when we were looking at Army Geniuses against Boom, I was like, you got to draft to win the early game. Because if you don't win the early game, you're not getting to the late game. And you don't actually get to learn anything against, you know, some really experienced players. Not that Army Geniuses are like some super inexperienced newbies, but with their current lineup together, they certainly don't have the same level of cohesion that we saw with their previous lineup. Like the cheese picks are sadly gone, it feels like, given that Mamang Dai is not really playing too much with them anymore. He's been playing a few games for Omega Esports lately.
Yeah, the cheese, unfortunately, dying so slowly. I feel like that's something we have to be happy about, right?
I mean, it's something different, right? Like, do you really want it to be another TI Grand Finals where the same heroes are picked over and over again?
You're right, but oh, I just hate Husker. I just hate those type of heroes. Mac might be forced to pop the BKB. They don't have the Aghanim, so Mac could just TP up, but in fact, he's still going to look to stand his ground, but the rest of the heroes swing on over. So early waste of the BKB, Arena as well, but they're going to be cautious, and Natsumi. He's compromised his own positioning. The heart freshly completed. Maybe the extra health is going to be enough to allow him to get back to safety. MG.Trust is even going to dive deeper and deeper. The spear outside the base. Boomer's going to try and drop the Wukons once again, giving them some control of the team fight. And somehow Natsumi able to make it onto the outskirts with Fearless. He's locked onto his target, but the damage is finally showing up as MG.Trust will claim the kill. But meanwhile, the consequences starting to flow through. Is Motivate, they'll buy back onto 1. Simultaneously, ET's also going to buy back as well.
And Fearless was even able to snag away the gem from the PL.
They're going to go back up. MG.Trust, where's the speed connection? Beautiful timing here with the Echo Stomp. Disrupts his jump, and MG.Trust, this is going to cost him his life. Otherwise, Q, what a timing. The time lapse to keep MG.Trust alive, and now they can turn a dieback on CML, and it looks like Boomy soon to fall as well. Q godlike on the position for Weaver. They were going to look to buy back, but they're going to be cautious. The numbers advantage well and truly in Motivate's favor. Meanwhile, Jabs, objective-based gaming, flowing through from game 1 into game 2. We saw what could happen previously. Is going to now look to turn to clean off Mac, but protected with the BKB will make it that much more difficult.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Kind of like what we were expecting as well. Jabs has gone for full survivability. This is a ballsy move by Nico.
Nico again.
Back, my man.
BKB from MG.Trust. Now they get the connection. At least the Aghanim's freshly completed will give them some control of the torrent. So Natsumi is back alive as well. So they're going to look to try and target down Jabs, and they'll be able to do so successfully. Just overwhelming the Furion with all the illusions. As Motivate have to say goodbye to their position 1, but hope the rest of the heroes can make it out to safety. Boomy, not going to try and give them that opportunity. Doesn't have any extra heroes stalking MG.Trust, but it's going to be a difficult escape.
Regeneration.
Does he?
I would say an impossible escape.
Execution style.
Oh.
Oh.
Hang on. Sorry, what? Say that again?
Oh.
Sorry? You doubt my guy MG.Trust?
Never again.
Is Mars? Okay, this is... I like this from Radiant a lot, though. Natsumi, yeah, signs of life here. You're honestly playing to win. You get the kill on Furion. Into Roche you go.
Step lively now.
You know what this Weaver hero needed?
A nerf?
He's had it for a while now. Yes. But let's just scout Roche from afar. Let's be able to do that as well. I mean, he's going into
going
like
Maelstrom?
yeah, he's just being able to deal with a PL on his own as well. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic that you can do that as a position 4? Be, what is it, 5th on the net worth ahead of your Mars?
Is he actually? Oh my god!
Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic?
So,
that this is a possibility in the game Dota 2?
Alright, so how much MMR have you lost to support Weaver?
Too much. Way too much.
Yeah.
It is a red carpet in the past little bit.
Yeah, I'm reading some issues right now coming through in regards to the Weaver support, the Monkey King support as well. It's understandable. I can get the bias. Well, what can Polaris do to get the one up here on the Weaver and in regards to overall the lineup that Motivate have? Is Roche one of those?
I mean, I guess so. But the thing is, they don't really have any kind of. I feel like the way that they win a fight is that they get an amazing Echo Stomp onto the Weaver and they burst a target down in that time. Now, who is that target? It's the question. Like, that needs to happen. I think, okay, it needs to be a long fight, and they need to wait out the BKBs on Motivate.Trust. They got to try and bait them out, force them to pop BKB super early on. Actually, it's only Masteros that has one. But once that's down, you can look to re-engage, Echo Stomp the Weaver, kill someone, and look to snowball from there. That's the strat that I would go for. And then pray that they don't have buyback. At the moment, it's only the Puck and the PL that have it.
I mean, even though it's a 15,000 net worth lead, I feel like if PL gets one more item without them losing objectives or like a big team fight, I'm very worried that Motivate might struggle to deal with him. Like we saw what happened previously where he just beeline to the Furion, started just surrounding him with a mass amount of illusions where he really couldn't do anything. Like this Nature's Prophet wants to be right-clicking you from afar and without the threat of just having mass amount of heroes on top of you. So Natsumi,
are we that worried though? Like you've got the Gleipnir, which basically after he doppelgangs will immediately reveal with PL, right? You've also got the Maelstrom on the Weaver. You've also got the Swarm, which is great at being able to latch onto multiple illusions. You've got Puck that's able to deal with multiple, and even Undying is going into a Crimson Guard just to be able to protect the rest of the team against this silly little PL. And Mars is going into the Overwhelming Blink. Great way to deal with illusions.
And Ag shot afterwards as well. So yeah, more just AoE. That's it. That's literally the name of the game. You've got to deal with the Phantom Lancer. He's the big win condition that Polaris are looking for Natsumi to try and find that farm. I mean, he's had an exceptional game. 7-3 and 2. Level 21. He's being neck and neck with the top of the net worth, kind of going back and forth with jabs. I feel like the big issue is the fact that they don't really have a position 3. Like this Spirit Breaker, what do you feel like his job this game is? Who does he have to annoy in the fights?
Prophet. Nature's Prophet. And I feel like jabs preemptively went that Heaven's Halberd just so that wouldn't happen. Like, you can charge on him all you want, he'll cop a few hits, but he's tanky enough now that he's not going to take too much damage. And then as soon as that Stampede's gone, he's just going to Heaven's Halberd and start hitting away on who he actually wants to hit. The other benefit is that, kind of like what I was expecting, Jabs went for the different level 20 talent this time around. He went for the +8 armor, so he's got that, plus Solar Crest, plus the AC coming through. So even the natural order doesn't make the Nature's Prophet that squishy. I like that he's itemized accordingly.
Jabs, they've started the fight. Puck's going to do a very good job at least to stall them off on the window they had to bring down the Furion. And now with the DD, Roche is soon to fall. Once again, cutting them further and further back, and Polaris just lost any form of control to jump in. So beautiful placement.
I'd give the shard to Weaver. It looks like Jabs is taking it, but I'd definitely look to give that to Weaver now that he's got the Maelstrom. Might be the Mars. Yeah, you give it to Mars instead. That's fine as well.
That's he's back into this refresher. Wait, you... Like, again, do you feel like this is another game where he needs a refresher? Or is it off the back of just this BKB, or...?
Anything that you can do to just allow this Nature's Prophet and Weaver to just hit.
Okay.
Great. You know, I feel like that's the main thing. Plus, like, It's going to refresh the BKB as well. Fantastic. It's even going to refresh the overwhelming blink if you're fast enough. So another great way to burst clear some of these illusions.
And even that little sustain, especially mana throughout the fight, you see how important that's going to be here for the Mars. I mean, you'll take whatever you can get against a your mana burning hero, but this is going to be quite the long drawn out game now. Polaris want any hope of being able to come back, especially down 18,000 gold and the ages that Motivate have. We saw crazy comebacks in game one, well, crazy thrown ends, and we'll see Polaris. The past couple of fights have been very solid. We'll see if they can continue this on their own high ground.
Just again feels to me like, unfortunately, Nico in that position 3 role, like the Tusk doesn't scale, the Spirit Breaker doesn't really scale. He's sitting a comfortable 7th on the net worth right now on this SB. So the question is, like, when is he actually going to look to have some of that later game impacts? Like the fact that he's got the BKB, very important, right? Like now you can actually look to get in onto the Nature's Prophet. You'll pop it right before the Bulldoze runs out, just so that you don't get that Heaven's Halberd onto yourself, and you're consistently trying to lock out the Nature's Prophet from having a big impact in these team fights. But other than that, like as soon as that's down, you're not going to kill the Nature's Prophet on your own. So it's a lot of reliability for the rest of your team to look to win the team fight. Like I don't think he impacts his team's damage at all.
A golden thread.
Lost out of tower soon to be claimed here for Motivate. We'll have to go up against the Scotty completed on the Phantom Lance, however.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A big item I was looking for.
Oh, I mean, the Psychic Headband on the puck is nice, because obviously you can snap your own coil and intelligence, great. I was kind of thinking that they would give that over to the Weaver, but Weaver's just holding on to
The
bottom. Boomy. It will be caught out. Fearless. That's the jump play. He hasn't been able to break the coil at the moment. Boomy, unfortunately, gonna have another thing coming as soon as Jabs gets involved. So it has kind of pulled them down to bottom. Whether they were thinking about going higher ground with that top siege is another story. But at least they have claimed all the outer towers now for the boys on Motivate.
They have, and it's a lot of net worth as well. Like Jabs is comfortably, what's he building into here? He's got an MKB, and then he's looking to finish up. He's just got the Demon Edge available. Yep, so he's not going to have buyback. This is their little window that they have where they've got Skadi. There's not Aegis available for another minute and 15 seconds. So you got to try and stall this out as much as you can. And there aren't too many heroes better at doing that than an Elder Titan, but they also just have the capability of just continuing to rush on in. You've got the Solar Crest. You've got AC. You can just hit it at these towers.
Tombstone was dropped very early on to try and enable the siege. See, Felix is just annoying them on the back line as well. Tombstone still not down just yet. Soon the tower will end up falling unless they glyph the last remaining second. They've got to go up against the Aegis for another 35 seconds. Polaris keeping close tabs on this at the moment. But they burned away all of Jabs' mana. His MG.Trust just spear pushing back Mac, which will give them an opportunity to reset their positioning. They've got to be cautious though.
25 seconds on that Aegis.
Again, making sure they've got the timer perfect. Jabs, uh-oh, they know they're in trouble. An X to drag him further and further back. This is the window though. They've overstepped the mark. His MG.Trust is going to jump instantly, but still with the backline. Jabs, Aegis is about to tick out surely, but what a combination. The Torrent Storm with the bow controlling them all on the high ground as Motivate gets shredded. 2 will drop instantly. And there's no counterplay coming through it as well as Jabs. He had to get out to safety, and well, Q and Fearless, they didn't want to stick around either.
Yeah, wasn't able to get the time lapse off. No arena dropped either. It was some great chain stuns coming through. I think that was CML's fight. Like, he just delayed for so long and enabled the rest of his team with the use of the Echo Stomp to be able to get off things like the Torrent Storm and for PL to finally be able to dish out their damage. But it's not like they didn't lose anything. They popped the glyph. They still lost a tier 3. So now with Jabs level 25.
But they got the first stun. Oh, good thing they ain't got the second stun. Man, Puck is such an annoying hero. There's no way they charge with the creep wave. Whew. Ooh, Nico. Well, Ag's now completed. We might see the Spirit Breaker have a little bit more impact now.
Haste.
Still going to be tough with the puck considering he's got the Lincolns, right? So they gave it a couple of extra stats as well. Just makes it a nice efficient item. Oh, of course, a Spell Prism. Given that to the puck, why not? Might cause Q to want to use the Psychic Headband instead. Oh, never mind. He's just going to continue dealing damage as they found out Nico on his Spirit Breaker as well.
Jesus.
Get away.
You reckon Hero should be able to move at 1200 movement speed?
I feel like if you have to spend 4,200 gold, it's okay.
Oh, they've been able to catch up, Boomy. Once again, what's it with this bottom outpost? Just Heroes are consistently dying from Radiant. I felt like they would have learnt their lesson by now. And that's at least 4 deaths, I feel like, from Boomy, just from trying to claim that outpost.
Yeah, it's 7 levels across the board, the experience lead. Motivate.Trust have a 74% chance win rate, so not 100% confirmed just yet, just showing the strength of a PL. He's reaching his level 25 shortly too. That is another thing that they do need to be concerned about. They even fed through the Tome of Knowledge to him. I like that. And they went the Basher as well. I like this as well. So they just want something that's going to be able to go through a lot of these TPs. Way too many times, you know, the likes of the Nature's Prophet, the Mars are just going to be wanting to sit there and BKB TP out. Not if PL's around. So this is the timing that they're waiting for. Level 25, Monkey King going to respawn shortly. I'm a little surprised with what he's got queued up that we haven't seen more of it. I feel like Mage Slayer, I was gushing about it in the previous patch. It got even stronger now. Like it's an insane item in terms of value for how much you pay for it.
Wait, who's got Mage Slayer?
Monkey King.
Let's go. I mean, I was also hyping this item up before the 7.3E, and I feel like it got some buffs that I wasn't even expecting, and now this item's kind of crazy. So see how it's going to be able to affect them as the game goes later on. They're just going to look to jump instantly to burst through the Monkey King. They won't catch anyone out at the moment. Steady Cap helping Natsumi a little bit to make it on the back line. Who do you feel like is the most valuable target from Motivate to burst down from 4-0 at a lot of these fights?
Probably Monkey, just because he's got like no defensives, right? Like he has the only stats that he has are from his magic wand. That's it, and levels. So if you're able to get him out, the Stormcrafter might make him live for a tiny bit, but it's just such an easy kill that in my eyes you'd be silly not to go for it every single time.
And it's felt very difficult for Motivate to fight into the Wukongs, even though it's not a, you know, it's not a core Monkey King that's doing a lot of damage with the ultimate. It's still at least some form of area control, which is something that the Undying gives you a great amount of with the Tombstone. But Jabs, this is a aggressive TP. This is looking to utilize this double damage picked up.
You got spooked a little bit there by the torrent. What's he going next? So he did end up building into the Aghanim Shard. Of course, you want to just reduce the cooldown of the Swarm by as much as possible. It's not quite as much as it was previously. It used to be -4 seconds to the cooldown. But the fact that it reveals invis units is going to be great against the Spirit Breaker with his Shadow Blade. Also going to be great for applying the orb effects. So things like the Gleipnir able to deal even more damage in these team fights, because that's what we needed. And I think that is a Aghanim Scepter picked up for Fearless as well. So we talked about BKB piercing disables that Polaris needed. Well, Motivate have got plenty of their own now.
CML might just put his body on the line here to pop the smoke. I don't know if they can lose even one hero, especially with the Aegis advantage you've got from Motivate. They're going to look to jump the back. They're going to be cautious in Natsumi. The Phantom Lancer hasn't locked onto his target just yet. Meanwhile, to the eastern side, Boom is in trouble. The Arena closing in the Monkey King, so they won't have him in action at the moment unless the buyback comes into the fray. Jabs standing down on the low ground. He's got the help of the coil to lock them in. Mac still incredibly taken with the Conquer at the moment. Still Natsumi as well. He's been completely unscathed. The Gleipnir onto multiple heroes. They just can't deal with the Phantom Lancer. The illusion stacking up. With all the mana being burned, it's going to stop a lot of the damage coming through thanks to the abilities. Round 2 up and available for Jabs, but I'm not sure it's even going to matter. Who can they even lock into? They haven't even been able to deal with the Phantom Lancer, but it's not going to matter. It's Natsumi almost a sole survivor as Max still standing hand in hand. He's going to look to try and target down Jabs. He will finally be able to kill him, or will he? Jabs, he's somehow still alive. He'll pick up a triple, maybe even the ultra as well, but Natsumi, he's got full health to play with. He's just lacking so much damage, and the buyback from the team. A 5v1. Natsumi against the world, and without the mana, I feel like Motivate just have to reset the positioning. Jabs is brought back into this. If somehow he dies, this is going to be a huge fight for Polaris. Otherwise, it could just turn it back in the favor of Dire as Natsumi's gone. He's got a buyback, but what can you do? One hero. We're going to send the courier out.
He's got the Elder Titan at least backing him up this time, but I mean, that was just the definition of a 1v5. Still dealing nearly 15,000 damage in that team fight. Same sort of thing with the Gleipnir coming through from the Nature's Prophet. Puck, of course, dealing a ton of AoE damage as well, especially now that he's got the phase shift attack. It just feels like a bridge too far. Even the PL, I don't think, can accomplish this. They've been able to secure mega creeps for themselves, and this should be Motivate taking a clean 2-0. Well, game 1 wasn't really clean, but we'll ignore that.
Game 2 in the bags, just Natsumi. And unfortunately for him, that's not going to be enough here. I mean, Boomy's up in 5 seconds, but the creep surrounding, Kuro surrounding, tier 4 is down, and G's soon to fall as well. Is Motivate going to continue on with their flawless run here through the Pro Series? Have had a incredible start so far, and you know, even with the stand-in from Jabs playing the Furon in back-to-back games, he's looking strong as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a team, like I was saying before, like in the first 25 minutes of the game, I don't want to say Jabs is a non-factor, but that's not what his role is, right? Like, he turns up when his team calls him to. Other than that, he focuses on farming. He knows the safe places to farm. He's a multiple-time TI attendee, and he's one of the most experienced players in the scene. Again, it didn't feel like there were any heroes that really missed a beat on Motivate's lineup. Kind of like what we saw in Boom in the first series of the day. Every single hero performed their role. I would say it's very much the same for Motivate.Trust in that game number 2.
Yeah, without a doubt. It really feels like it comes down to if the team is clicking on all cylinders, and it felt like for Motivate, they even again with the stand-in, Jabs is having some incredible showings here in a role that he's not really comfortable with, but I guess maybe teams have to keep in mind about the potential Furion that they have to match up to if they are going to go up against Motivate when Jabs is standing in. But our second series done, and for Polaris, I mean, they still have another series as well to go for the day. It's going to be up against Yangon Galacticos, so a team that is currently sitting on the bottom of the table, so a little bit different of a component level-wise, but still, when you drop a series like that 2-0, it might be difficult to be able to recoup and come back, refurnish and refresh, but only time will tell. Our last series of the night coming up shortly.